Yo, I'm Moo. Welcome to channel 2. We have reasonable crash outs. It's a good topic. I like this topic right here. Some crash outs have to happen. They're necessary for the betterment of said person or said situation a person is in. So let's tap in, bro.
Here, Adrian. I mean, take hip hop. We talked about this on the show.
Oh wow. This might be top 10.
Before. You have African American rappers saying inward this and inward that, but a Caucasian can't. So say it. Say what?
This is definitely, no, this is top 10.
Just pointing out a double standard here, Adrian. I mean, take hip hop. We talked about this on the show before. You have African American rappers saying inward this and inward that, but a Caucasian can't. So say it. Say what? Say the word you want to say. I'm not saying that I want to say it. I'm just saying that I can't. So you can. Say it. Say it right now. I will say it with you.
Crash outs. We unfamiliar with them. People that be bugging for no reason. People that be over-exaggerating certain scenarios and just be taking it out of context.
I will say it with you. That's crazy.
It's 99% of the time. Shit, I crashed out when I saw that Switch 2 games was £75, fam. Are you mad, bruv? That's like a whole shift at work. And with the whole cost of living crisis we got out here in the UK, you're trying to get me to spend that to play Mario Kart, which is a game you can only play online. Suck your mom, bro. What are you talking about? But for real though, crashing out is an art. It's amazing how some people's first reaction to anything is to start moving like Grub from the cruise, or for them to throw the quickest tantrum possible like their power levels rising, or they go 0 to 100 like they from Obstacle. But a lot of crash outs are low-key justified. I mean, most of the time these men are just acting out after carefully warning people or just asking politely. And as your host of today's video, I'll be sharing and telling you why these were all reasonable crash outs, starting with the man himself, John Walker. And before I
John Walker. Okay, hold on. Yeah. His crash out was horrible. Like, it was bad. But he did have a good reason. But it was in the name of America, which was bad.
talk about this, man. Look at the glaze he's recently been getting with the success of the Thunderbolts movie. It's times like this I think that as a Marvel fan myself, I actually sometimes question the community because they were hating on this man for no reason. Don't get it twisted.
Okay, whoa. No reason's crazy.
That's that you man are finally recognizing peak. But I've been saying this since Falcon and the Winter Soldier, fam. John Walker has always been cold, fam. His suit was peak, the fights were fire, and his story was peak. US Agent is such a cool character, but he got sold completely in the story. He was more than qualified to be Captain America through his accolades, achievements, and physical capabilities. He was an S-tier rank for this role, bro. Big man thing. I mean, shit. If we're being completely honest here, after I watched Thunderbolts with my boy, I think John could beat Steve in a fight, and it might not even be close, fam. After that super jump he did.
Thunderbolts has been out for like 3 weeks now. If you haven't seen Thunderbolts, just skip ahead. Like click that 10 seconds forward, like 2 times, 3 times.
Which I did not know they could do, fam. I didn't even know that was possible. They had me in the cinema with my mouth dropped. I didn't know he could do that. It was crazy, fam. But seriously, John Walker had every right to bug out and do what he had to do in the show. And you know, I'm just gonna cut the shit and get to the part where everybody supposedly throws shade to this guy. So the moment that made everybody hate John Walker, which is mostly the part where he killed the Flag Smasher, and everybody saying things like, oh, the guy was trying to surrender. A hero doesn't kill. And by far my favorite one, Steve Rogers wouldn't have done this. Like, you sure Steve Rogers hasn't killed anyone, bro?
I mean, true. But the difference is that, like, it wasn't as brutal, and they were still attacking, you know? Homeboy was surrendering. He said it wasn't me multiple times. He said it wasn't me. So there's still a lot wrong. This is crazy though.
Let's be honest, superheroes have killed a bunch of people regardless of them being bad guys or not. Most of the time, we don't even count them as kills because they be doing way worse shit most of the time. With that being said, let me give you a deep analysis of the scenario which led John Walker to even kill the Flag Smasher in the first place. So before this even happens, the leader of the Flag Smashers, Carly, or better known as Pebbles, bro, from Top Boy, was planning to separate all the man them and kill John Walker in the first place. So Bucky and Sam get to and realize they start Walker, so they start moving to his location ASAP. Fast forward now, and they're all scrapping with the rest of the terrorists. And in this scene, John Walker gets grabbed by the man he kills later, who attempts to hold him so Pebbles can kill him with a knife, bro. So Battlestar tackles Carly, and then she just punches the life out of my man, killing him. I like Naruto was when he thought Hinata died. John Walker was furious, so he starts chasing down the terrorists to find out where Carly's gone, and in pursuit, the terrorist just dashes a concrete bin at him. And bear in mind, I didn't share this at the start, but he's now a super soldier. But if he didn't have the serum, he probably would have been knocked out or worse. So John Walker finally chases my man down and does the deed. And look at Carly looking all shocked at one of her brethren died when she was killing innocent people the entire show. She blew up a building full of people, took hostages, and did a whole GTA rando out the car to even kill the hostages. And guess who was saving them? The GOAT himself, John Walker, fam. The show was painting John Walker as a bad guy from the start. Like Bucky and Sam were hating on him for no reason when him and Battlestar were just trying to do their job. Remember, the only reason why John Walker was even able to turn into Captain America was because Sam's dumbass decided not to take the opportunity for Captain America himself. He was handpicked by the man and he decided to
This is true. He's spinning right now.
take it and give it to the government. Like, bro, it's your fault that shit even happened in the first place. And Bucky was just hating because he wasn't Steve. He was up there gobbling Steve shit so bad that he couldn't see that somebody else would have eventually picked up the mantle of Captain America. And instead of being a comrade and a friend, he just became a hater, bro. And by far, this is the worst version of Bucky in the MCU, fam. His trim is shit, bro. His barber don't mess him up, fam. Don't get me wrong, John Walker definitely had his flaws. Like, right after he killed the Flag Smasher and started scrapping with Bucky and Sam, he was low-key trying to kill them, I'll be honest. He was crazy here. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he was treated poorly by other superheroes. Yes, John Walker was working for the government, and Bucky and Sam weren't. But that doesn't mean you give the guy mistreatment. That was just mad unprofessional. Especially from unks who've been in the game collectively for like 100 years. What the hell is wrong with you two? The type of treatment these two were given Walker and Battlestar was something Steve would have never done. And they were both mentioning his morals and ideals significantly in the show just to never be behind it themselves. And another thing going back to Carly.
Oh my god, was that Super Ninjas? Elite ball knowledge. Elite ball knowledge.
And another thing going back to Carly was when Sam was out here saying she wasn't a terrorist, acting like he didn't know the type of shit she was doing. The writing in this show was so twisted. They tried to justify Carly's actions so much more and practically painted John Walker as more of a villain to some people. How is that even possible, bro? I'm happy that John Walker is finally getting recognized for how cool he is now with how cold the Thunderbolts movie was. But even before this, Marvel fans were just hating on him because he wasn't Steve. And fans act like Steve was a golden boy, like he wasn't throwing his shield at 70 miles per hour and shooting a bunch of people. Marvel fans are so delusional, bro. You were holding on to John Walker's kill like Iron Man didn't murder a bunch of terrorists in his movie. Like, remember, before John Walker became US agent, he killed one person as Captain America. One person, fam. And it wasn't even someone special. It was a terrorist who was about to get him murdered. People hate on John Walker need to jump off their high horse, man, for real. But John Walker is a sick character, and I'm happy people are starting to jump on that opinion. Thunderbolts was such a cold movie, and as a Marvel fan, I can say we're back, fam. For real though, the John Walker hate was never justified, and his crash out killing the Flag Smasher just made sense in the moment.
I want to say W, but he's on a better arc now, which I'm very happy about. He's a good character. Gotta keep it a buck.
Fans were just hating at this because he wasn't Steve. And just because the writers want you to dislike a character shouldn't mean that they're actually an unlikable character. John Walker was a real victim of the show, being mistreated and disrespected by comrades, being significantly weaker than every foe they had to face in the show, which probably caused him to take the serum. Because in his head, he was probably thinking, if I can't defend anyone, then what's the point of being Captain America? And him seeing his best friend die, the only guy who was by his side to then kill the murderer, to then be demonized and stripped away from his title by the government who made him into this, and he still took it on the chin and saved the people in the car. This gave me mad respect for Walker, bro, I'll be honest. And when I saw his redemption in the fans, that's when I knew we were doing something right. And now it's time for the next crash out, Benson from Regular Show. To this day, to me, Regular Show is one of the most rewatchable cartoons of all time. It's like you get a different perspective or viewpoint of it every time you watch it at a different stage of your life. And when I was a kid, I used to hate Benson, bro. To me, when I was younger, he was just a guy who used to get angry at Mordecai Rigby all the time. He was just mad, uptight, and annoying. Like, when I was a kid, I used to hate how strict teachers were. And at the time, I used to relate Benson to a teacher so much, I'd low-key dislike my man heavy. But what I've come to realize as I've become more and more conscious, self-aware, and have experienced more life as I've grown up, is that I feel bad for Benson, low-key.
I never watched Regular Show. I've never seen it. I've watched a couple episodes, obviously, but like, I'm not that tapped in with Regular Show lore.
Benson just wanted all his employees to just do their jobs and commit. And instead of getting that, most of them were just slacking, especially Mordecai and Rigby. Benson just wanted these guys to do simple things like clean a room, fold chairs, take responsibility for any problems they've done. And what do they do instead? They go slack off or go do something completely random that isn't their job. Time and time again, Benson would have to keep telling Mordecai and Rigby over and over again just to do their jobs, which isn't something you should be telling two grown-ass men to do. They should just be doing it instead. Benson would have to always lash out and start raging at these men. And they got so bad at one point, Pops had to tell him to stop yelling at Mordecai Rigby or else he would be fired. And Mordecai Rigby were taking a piss out of this and took advantage, which literally caused Benson to turn into the sun and started destroying the park. Benson has shown time and time again he just wanted Mordecai Rigby to do their jobs, and we all know every time he threatened to fire Mordecai Rigby, he was never gonna fire them. He only said that so he could push some sort of urgency and get them to do their jobs. But instead of doing their jobs, they'll just go on some random side quest that destroys the park 99% of the time. Like, if I was Mordecai Rigby's manager, I would be tweaking out as well, fam. These guys never took their job seriously. Benson never asked him to do any complicated shit. All we would ask them to do were baby chores we were all doing at like 9 years old. And instead, Mordecai and Ruby were treating us like it was the hardest thing to do possible. Benson's anger and rage towards his employees is the most justified point I've made in this video. Because it's not only that he's their boss and that it's his responsibility to hold them accountable to their jobs and make sure everything gets done, but it's also the fact that Benson cares about his employees. Like I mentioned earlier, time and time again, he's wanted to fire Mordecai and Ruby. Like he literally says this every episode. And he did fire them in one, but they quit anyway, so don't even count. Just didn't work out for these men. But majority of the time, Benson just says it as a threat so they can do their jobs. Benson has a soft spot for Mordecai and Ruby. At the time, Mordecai was depressed about Margaret and he told Mordecai to go speak to Margaret to get closure. By the time he helped Ruby to pass a foreign language class to graduate high school. And he even helped save them in the stick hockey episode after he got rid of it because Mordecai and Ruby yet again didn't do their jobs. But by far the saddest moment with Benson is the episode where Mordecai and Ruby destroy a car and Mr. Mailer puts the responsibility of that on Benson or else he's gonna fire him. So he has to go drive all the way to the dealership all day to get there. And Mordecai and Ruby sneak their way onto his car, and since Benson has driven out too far already, he agrees and lets them stay with him to drive to the dealership. And during the drive, they start chilling and having fun. And there's even a moment where Benson tells Mordecai and Ruby the reason why he gets mad at them all the time is just because he wants them to do better and push them for that. Benson then hands them the responsibility to keep driving since he's gonna take a nap. And Mordecai and Ruby decide to take a detour, drive into an arcade and spend all night at the arcade. And then we just get this sad scene from Benson.
I'm about to lose my job! You may not care about keeping your jobs, but I care about keeping mine!
Oh,
if
man.
I lose my job, I have nothing! Do you hear me?
Man.
I have nothing!
All Benson wanted to do was get these men to take their job seriously, do better in their lives, make something of themselves. But instead of that, they just messed up. They just messed about, which slowly had repercussions and problems toward Benson since he's their manager and takes responsibility for any job or work they haven't done yet. I mean, Mordecai and Ruby most of the time will complete a task with something, but it's normally at the cost of something else. Like when Benson, who was very extreme for this, I'm not gonna lie to you, hired a bounty hunter to find his car, and Mordecai and Ruby stole the car to fix the window they broke, which eventually caused the bounty hunter to just blow up the car, but the glass stayed. Like that's a piss take, I'm gonna be honest, fam. But for real though, if we're keeping it 100, for us adults now that used to watch regular show when we were kids, probably sympathize with Benson a lot more now, as we ourselves have grown and gained a lot more responsibilities and realize way more now. Mordecai and Ruby were in the wrong most of the time. I really and truly, they should have been fired a long time ago, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. And now for my final crash out. And before I even enlighten you on why this person was right for getting angry, I'm gonna say
I just bit right on the highway.
Yo, you're loud, bro. 1 second, bro. Oh shit. Yo.
Oh, it's yo.
It's good, bro.
Oh, good, bro. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You cool?
Huh?
You good?
Huh?
Are you good?
Huh?
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna continue my reaction, big bro.
you back in the?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, took you 6 days.
We on the game tonight? Yeah, we on the game tonight.
I don't know, bro. I was on the game last night. I don't know if I'm on the game tonight. I don't know.
What you mean, bro?
I don't know. It depends how the night goes.
What you mean?
I've asked to be on the game and the show for the past 3 nights. Y'all both say
I wasn't home.
no. Yeah, exactly. That's y'all be like, oh, I don't know, big bro. Like maybe, bro. I'll be like, all right, man. You trying to watch the show tonight? You say, yeah, I'm gonna be home in like. I'll be like, when you get home? You say, I don't know yet, but probably in a few hours. Like, okay, word. Then you don't go home. Now what?
Bro, look.
No, there's literally nothing you can say here.
Nah, bro.
So I don't know.
It's
Maybe
on me. It's not on me.
it is on you. You could have just asked Biscuit if he could drive you back home.
He wasn't going to because it was late.
Yeah, bro.
We left like what, 12:30? 12? Yeah, 12:30.
Yeah, bro. You know, hey, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling.
No, you know, bro. You
No,
know, bro.
I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling.
You know, gang. Like you. Know what I'm saying?
This is not a yes nor a no. We'll see. We'll see what the night takes us, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, big bro. I don't know where Biscuit is either, so
I think it was editing when I left.
type timing. Yeah, bro. Well, we'll see. would like to watch Lazarus. So I can, yeah.
So do I have permission to watch a movie?
No, not until we know
Huh?
we're watching Lazarus.
What you mean?
I'm not doing this again. You know, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to watch it again.
So what?
I'm not doing that again. You until we fully know. You text the group chat asking for watching Lazarus tonight, and then you can decide if you want to watch
Me?
a movie or not. Yeah, you, because you want to watch a movie.
No, I was joking.
No, you weren't.
I was.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I'm gonna watch this video, one more video. I'm gonna wrap up. I'm gonna edit, and then we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro. All right, bro. Yeah, big bro.
Nation, we all most likely have somebody in our lives we hate. It's deep in our bones, deep in our hearts. I'm talking about when you hear their name, you get furious, fam. You just start raging with envy when they start winning and you don't. And you weren't always like this. You and this person used to be friends, comrades, something like brothers. People couldn't separate you two sometimes because of how close you were. But then they betrayed you. They let you down in your darkest hour. They fumbled when you needed them most, and after that moment, you vowed to never trust a human soul like that ever again. Now I want you
What are
to
we
take
talking about?
all the anger I've just helped you resurface
Oh,
and
okay.
throw it at Dinkelberg and scream it with me. Bun Dinkelberg, man. Everything in Mr.
What?
Turner's life was ultimately horrible because of Dinkelberg. The weather was horrible. Dinkelberg. His tie didn't match his shirt. Dinkelberg. The Turner household ran out of milk. Dinkelberg. And when I was younger and used to watch Very Odd Parents, often I just thought that Mr. Turner was a hater. However, I have some strong evidence here which justifies the hate against Dinkelberg. In the episode where Timmy goes back in time, we can see his parents. And before Mr. Turner was with his wife, she was close to Dinkelberg. Now I know
Oh,
that's
wow.
a relatable feeling. When you see fine shit but they already with somebody else, that shit gets me heated for real. Not to mention,
Yo.
Dinkelberg is a huge rage baiter. This guy would spend time out of his day to go bug and annoy Mr. Turner on some dumb shit, whether he used to show off him being rich or even just come to his house for no reason to gloat and be passive aggressive. We all know what it's like to be rage baited by that one person who consistently does it to the point we all fall for it. And Mr. Turner was getting this done daily, from his childhood all the way to when he became a dad and was raising Timmy. Dinkelberg was consistently baiting this man and it was working. He even convinced Mr. Turner to try and kill this guy several times. Believe me, if I could wake up tomorrow with Toon Force and blow up my enemy, I probably would, I'll be honest. As peaceful as I am, I hate some brothers, but we ain't gonna go into that. But to get real here, I'm sure the hate Mr. Turner had towards Dinkelberg was just because he was jealous of Dinkelberg for having no kids. And the Dink in Dinkelberg
Oh, wow.
stands for dual income, no kids. And that's how they're so rich compared to the Turners who can't afford half the stuff the Dinkelbergs be buying. And that's probably why Mr. Turner carries some hate for Dinkelberg in the future. Also, Timmy was ruining a bunch of stuff for his dad, like losing awards he should have won, but then they got handed to Dinkelberg, which is a piss take. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'd be heated
nah,
at that.
low-key,
And as
I'd
a
be
adult,
heated
I can
too.
humbly say, Bun Dinkelberg, I hate Dinkelberg, you hate Dinkelberg, we all hate Dinkelberg, bun this guy, man. But ladies and gentlemen, we at the end of the flick. If you lot got any more reasonable crash outs I
Bro,
haven't
W-
mentioned in this video, put them in the comment section.
W crash outs. I'll keep it a buck. That's yeah. Yeah. I think John Walker definitely a good. That's a top. That might be a top. It's probably top 10 in terms of like media or like fiction. Yeah, it's probably top 10.